Excuse me, Your Honor, Judge?
Yes.
All defendants are entitled to a lawyer, are they not? I will be their lawyer.
Oh, really? Why not? Being the judge, I'm all for a fair trial. No one should be able to say, I sentenced them to death unjustly.
I don't know if I want to be represented by her.
Shut up, Nate. The accused is only allowed to talk when their lawyer tells them to.
Well, what do you have to say in their defense?
He is not responsible for his actions. He's being controlled by a higher power.
Oh, the voodoo doll defense.
Not at all. There is a higher power which controls him and all of us, I think.
Oh, yes.
Indeed. Behold the water jug.
Oh, yeah. So impressive.
But the Oracle said so.
Oh, it would seem as if your higher power isn't cooperating, sweetie.
Perhaps it was just not paying attention. Proven imbecile, Your Honor. He is not compos mentis.
Oi!
He tried to steal from me. That's really bordering on madness.
And his IQ lies somewhere between that of a jelly glowfish and a cave troll.
Ha! I am not an imbecile, and I'm much smarter than a glow jellyfish.
He stole the Mary without any idea of how to fly an airship.
And did he not promptly crash in the Northlands?
I didn't. You're both really enjoying this, aren't you?
The court acknowledges that he's an idiot, but that ain't enough to lessen the punishment.
Granted, but I would like idiot to be highlighted in the records.
Sustained.
You... Ow!
What else have you got?
The deeds he's accused of are grave. But just like one can't accuse a troll of being insolent and smelly, one can't accuse Nate of objectionable behaviour and being smelly.
Hey!
He's just of bad character through and through.
Can he give examples? For the objectionable behaviour, I mean. The bad smell is quite obvious.
Making advances towards women and promises of a life together and then leaving her without so much as a word.
I vote...
In the middle of the night.
Certainly not sensitive, but in his defence, he is a pirate. What else do you have?
But the Oracle said this higher power really exists.
Please don't tell me that's your defense strategy.
Just shut up! Look! At the water jug!
Nah, that was the win.
No, that was the higher power.
If so, then it could get that coconut down from that tree. That is impossible.
Indeed.
You, turn around. Now go ask your higher power how many fingers I'm holding up.
It is 3 fingers.
That's witchcraft. Someone's watching me. They want to control me. And they want to drive me crazy. But they won't get me.
That was brilliant. How did you do that?
I don't know.
You mean there really is a higher power controlling everything?
can't be. Oh, higher power! If you are really there, make a green unicorn appear. See? Just a figment of imagination.
All right then, release me.
Critter doesn't need my help to get out of that thing. He's just there out of solidarity.
Come on, Critter, we're going.
Don't I even get a thank you?
I didn't ask for your help, and we would have managed fine on our own. Isn't that right, buddy? You see?
I could have just left you to rot in the stocks.
Maybe you should have. You're good at betraying your friends.
I have not betrayed anyone.
Critter, can you tell that person that the proof of her infidelity is clear enough for anyone to see?
Critter, tell this excuse of a pirate that I was not unfaithful to him. Even if I'd wanted to, I couldn't have been unfaithful to him. He left me.
Critter, tell her that I won't listen to this any longer.
Nate, it's about the Archmage and Wilbur.
What? What about them?
The Archmage has been cursed and Wilbur's wanted for murder.
That's nonsense. That little guy wouldn't hurt a fly.
We have to help them.
I can't. I can drop you off in Elfborough if you like.
That would be a start. The spark of life is there. My father has it.
Yeah. Let's just go.
Are you sure you'll be able to find the elf burrow? Right, someone's gonna have to go up to my father and ask him for the spark of life. Then we have to head off to find Lorem Ipsum. Hello?
I'm not going to help. That's your problem.
Well, I'm not over the moon about it either, but the Oracle did say that I needed friends in order to overcome the challenges that lie ahead of me.
Then I suggest you look for some. Farewell.
But you have to help me. I can't possibly meet Mother in this state. The gods only know what she'd do to me.
And quite rightly, too.
Oh, yeah? Then why don't you tell him yourself that you're going to desert him?
The frog?
That's Archmage Alistair. Didn't you listen to anything I said? And what about Wilbur?
I'm sorry. I can't. Oi, Critter! Come on! Just look what she's done. Critter!
Critter! I knew that you wouldn't desert me. And that's good. Mother must under no circumstances see me like this.
I was informed of your arrival, Ivo.
I just forgot something on board. Just a sec.
You're not going back on that thing. And I know when you're lying. What is the matter with you? Why don't you turn around?
Why don't you turn around first?
The company of that human is not good for you. That is why I told him to go away.
You did what?
What have you?
Well, I can explain.
Not necessary.
Helping her. Why should I? Just turns up and what the hell is taking so long? Critter, come on, it's time to go. When the Mary belonged to the Red Pirate, he didn't just use her for pleasure trips. They did some work now and again, as this cage proves. One of my goals in life is to never be a prisoner in my own cage again. Some gnome engineers wanted to fine-tune Mary in appreciation of our victory against Mortroga. But Mary doesn't like gadgets, and I'm happy with her the way she is. When I first got the Mary, I understood absolutely nothing about her mechanics. Now I understand at least twice as much. The last time I used this thing, I blew a bounty hunter out of the sky. Nonetheless, Critter and I prefer to avoid a fight if we can and rely on our brains and good looks. The Elf Burrow is one of the most beautiful spots imaginable, but a golden prison is still a prison. The Elf Burrow is one of the most, but a golden... Ivo's hippogriff doesn't seem very happy. Perhaps she's missing her rider. Or she's just hungry. Or both. Go over into the garden. There are plants and fruit there if you're hungry. Don't fancy greens, huh? As soon as I've picked up Critter, I'm out of here. Perhaps we'll fly to... whatever. We're free. We can fly to wherever we want. The Elf Burrow is one of the most beautiful, but a gold... As soon as I've picked up Critter, I'm out of here. Perhaps we'll fly to... whatever. We're free. We can fly to wherever we want. The Mary was damaged recently, and I want to repair her. When I say recently, I mean about 2 years ago. But in my defense, I had to save the world in the meantime. I'll start the repairs tomorrow. But what can you do if there's a better use for the plank? The Mary tried to teach me some knots. I think she likes passing on her knowledge to me. She said she'll try and teach pigs to fly next. The Mary consumes huge amounts of coal, for the oven, but primarily for the steam engine. The Miners Guild promised to give me free coal for the Mary for the rest of my life at the end of the war. When I reminded them, a rather grim-faced dwarf said that the whole thing was meant to be symbolic. Many promises were made in the rush of victory and later not kept. Provisions are low. If we sail around much longer, we'll have to get supplies from somewhere, or Critter will have to eat less. Tinned peaches. Oh, empty. The Red Pirate kept asking me again and again about his costumes when I was drinking with him. I didn't have the heart to tell him we used some of them as oil rags. A sailor's uniform with a hat and a duck beak made of card. Nope, they're not going to help me in the current situation. Ivo tidied up here when we flew back from the Wildlands. At least that's what she called it. In reality, all she did was bring confusing order to my orderly disorder. Navigation isn't a complicated science. I choose a place on the map I'd like to fly to, and I tell the Mary the name of the place, and she flies me there. I don't know why other people find it so difficult. I'm not flying off without Critter. Critter is my first mate, and the cook, and the lookout, and he shovels coal and helps me annoy the Mary. He's indispensable. I've seen alchemic lab benches and building sites with less stuff than this dressing table. Perfume atomizers, face powder, makeup. Nothing of any use at the moment. A pile of maps, diaries, travelogues and stuff. I was looking for things that promise eternal life. The Holy Grail, the Philosopher's Stone, the Fountain of Youth, that kind of thing. Harder to find than you'd think. That's why I had the idea with the djinn. At least I knew where to look for him. Wasn't there a book on lorem ipsum here? That's it. If I'd thought of it earlier, I could have given it to Ivo. A notebook with some notes on the lost city of lorem ipsum. If I'd thought of it earlier, I could have given it to Ivo. Metal cans. The dwarves invented them to keep perishable foods fresh for longer. A heavy plank of wood. Not very long, but quite fat. Just like the Mary. Mary and me like a bit of banter. She says I haven't got a clue about flying airships, and that we only stay in the air because she ignores my commands. Ha! Hey, Mary.
Captain Nate?
What's our course, helmsman? Woman? Ship?
We are at anchor in the harbour and don't have a course.
Oh, play along. You know I like all that nautical stuff.
Course set 2456 degrees north-south, Captain.
Very good. Keep course.
Yes, sir, Captain.
All right. Let me know if there's a problem.
And then?
People always think that pirates don't care about their appearance. But that's not true. We're just as sensitive as everyone else when it comes to what we look like. You finally managed to get a good beard going. Then people say you look better without. I like looking for lost things and solving long-hidden secrets. It's not really honest piracy, but Critter and I just want to be treasure hunters. Critter, what have you done now?
Evil!
Ivo's mother? Oh. Come on, let's get you out of there first. All right. Darn elven magic. Yes, I'll get help. Wait here. No trace of arbor, but he left this ball of string lying here. Perhaps he was going to tie up bushes with it or something. Shorty won't mind, I think. Critter attacked this beehive one night. He claims to this day that it was the sweetest triumph of his life. But it was 3 days before the swelling from the bee stings went down. I've never been very interested in plants, but there are things in this garden I've never seen anywhere else. Those 2 plants there, for example, it looks as though they're strangling one another. Damn elven magic! Hey, Critter, can't you somehow slip out of there? You can usually squeeze through most gaps. The thorns, I see. At school, I had a teacher who hit us across the fingers with something like that when we were naughty. I stayed the full 2 weeks nonetheless. Education is the key to success. We waited for ages until Ivo's mother finally left the palace. Then it was pool time. Critter and me cannonballed in from the balcony. Ivo was torn between outrage and laughter. People say the water has a healing effect. Perhaps I should take 1 or 2 barrels of it with me and sell it. A fishing rod? Nah, too obvious. That's strange. When I was here last, that tree looked a lot happier. According to Ivo, these are swords belonging to some of those who have tried to conquer the woodland realm. Nowadays, everyone knows it's better not to pick a fight with elves. During my time here, I sat in this library many times enjoying a good book. Not. During my time, not. Critter claims he doesn't know Ollie, but the family resemblance can't be denied. Ollie used to be a bookmaker, got involved with the wrong people. Ivo says I just make all this up. I've only had dealings with a dragon once. The deer thing wasn't really all there, and completely harmless. I've never really understood why it's all right to cut off dragons' heads. Dragons are rational beings, not a nice tradition. The king and queen keep gifts given to them by delegations from far-off lands in this room. Some of them are rather bizarre. The top hat might have been a present from a kobold delegation, although it's a bit too big for that. The top hat might have... I nearly got arrested once because of a flower like that. I didn't know why they're forbidden almost everywhere, until I heard someone playing one for the first time. I'll have to be careful. If the queen catches me, there'll be no leniency.
I couldn't allow him to propose to you. What sort of life would you have? You'd have lost him so soon, maybe just 50 years after marrying him. Or were you planning to go into the world with him and get old just like him? That would be terrible, and I told him as much. If one truly loves someone, then it's sometimes better to let them go. You know that I can be very convincing. The human spirit is weak. And perhaps there was a tiny bit of magic involved too. If only I'd known that it was already too late.
That darn witch! It all sounded so right. I was already across the sea when it became clear to me that I might have made the biggest mistake of my life. No wonder Ivo hates me. Her mother must never have told her what happened, or she blamed me for everything. The Queen must have ordered the sentries to let the Mary pass. So long as she doesn't give any orders to the contrary, we should be able to enter and leave the Woodland Realm at any time. I think Ivo has never really got on with her mother, but she has always respected her. Her mother is very hardworking, very conscientious, very clever, but I think Ivo would have liked a bit more affection and warmth from her. When your girlfriend's mother is an elf priestess and you want to make a good impression, you shouldn't call this a swimming pool in front of her. But I meant it in a good way. I even invited her and Ivo's father to join us. I had to listen to a quite long and, to be honest, slightly hostile lecture about this being a holy moon well. But what if your sweaty feet are longing for a cool down after a long day? What do you do then? My good arguments were ignored. I had to listen to a quite long... But what if my good... I don't know if I'd have been happy here with Ivo. This place is beautiful, of course, but nothing changes, or only unbelievably slowly. And who would want to live in his parents-in-law's house where time practically stands still? One day, Ivo's child will rule over all of this. I'll be long dead by then. It might have never heard of me. Bob is still sitting where I left him months ago. Of course, he's not really called Bob, but his elven name is too complicated and long to remember. And he likes Bob. Hey, Bob.
Nate, my boy, what are you doing here?
I rescued Ivo from Tugator, the flying pirate island, and brought her back here, more or less.
Oh, so you're getting on well again.
It's too late for that. Trust me.
It is never too late for that. Trust me.
Your wife has hexed Ivo, an imprisoned critter. I'll free both of them, and
I would counsel you to patience, my impetuous friend. What has happened?
The Queen found Ivo in the garden. She's pregnant. Did you know that?
I hope that you are speaking of Ivo and not my wife. Of course I knew.
She's put Ivo into a kind of deep sleep.
Theodora knows wise decisions take time. It isn't a simple sleep. It's a kind of time out. For Ivo, time is standing still until her mother brings her back.
And when will that be?
As soon as she knows how she's going to deal with the situation. That could take months, or even years.
Years? She's got no right to do that. We have to bring Ivo back.
Just like the polecat butters the bread of the barn owl.
How can we wake Ivo up?
Without the help of her mother, impossible.
Then we'll have to force her. She can't keep Ivo imprisoned against her will.
You won't have any luck. Fiora will defend her daughter. She thinks she's doing the right thing. But if you can make her see that she was not acting in Ivo's best interests, then I'm sure she would let her go.
I should talk to her?
Oh, you'd be dead before you'd stuttered out your first sentence.
Hey! I eavesdropped on the Queen. She never told Ivo what happened, right?
What happened? You just disappeared one night.
It was all your wife's fault. She hexed me. I was going to propose to Ivo. The Queen intercepted me and whispered something in my ear.
Her words would have just washed over you had they not found something which they were able to catch hold of.
I thought long and hard about whether I should propose to Ivo. I loved her, but I also loved my freedom.
Gods and the wise call that getting cold feet.
So she could manipulate me because of my feet?
She magnified your doubts and let you lose sight of what was really important, your love for Ivo.
But I didn't want her to have to watch me die. And I certainly didn't want her to come with me out into the world and grow old and die herself.
Would it have not been up to my daughter what sacrifices she would be willing to make for you? She is, after all, the more intelligent one.
After I left the Elfborough, my head still told me I'd done the right thing. I wouldn't condemn Ivo to a life with me, and a goodbye would have been too painful for both of us.
But your heart told you that you were a fool.
Later I thought I'd found a solution. I'd find a way to live forever, then I could marry Ivo and we'd never be separated.
Your heart was right. You are a fool.
Well, Archmage Alistair's been turned into a frog. By a certain Van Buren, some little brat who's running through Seastone and transforming everything.
A little girl transformed the Archmage?
Yes. No idea how she managed it. Ivo said something about Wilbur's wand. And he's in the Dark Woods looking for a book that explains how it can be destroyed. In the meantime, Ivo wanted to organize a few things needed to bring the Archmage back.
What sort of things?
Some book from Lorem Ipsum.
The Book of the Dead?
Yep, that was the one. Then we need a compass that belongs to the Red Pirate, and something called the Spark of Life. That's why she came back here.
I see. It's crucial we turn Alistair back quickly. He might have answers.
Answers? To which questions?
Something is stirring. A great evil. I have felt it for a while now.
The little brat with the wand?
No. Something older, greater, and a great danger for you, for Ivo, for everyone.
That doesn't sound good. But I wouldn't even know where to start. Ivo didn't tell me very much. Or perhaps I didn't listen.
I have the spark of life here. I will give it to my daughter as soon as she wakes. I can't help you with the compass, though. But I saw the lost city of Lorem Ipsum with my own eyes, long, long ago.
If I were to look for Lorem Ipsum, where would I find the ruins of the city?
Under the sands of the Umzu Desert.
Oh, really? Could you be a bit more precise? The desert's pretty big.
I can't remember the exact location. I set out from the Bremen oasis, went into the desert, and just followed my nose. After a few days, I saw the golden roofs of the town glinting in the sun as it set behind them.
So Lorem Ipsum is west of Bremen. But how far into the desert? How many days did you walk, and how quickly?
It was 3,500 years ago. What did you do last Thursday?
West of Bremen. That's a start. Ivo seems to have coped well with me leaving her. Seems to have been in a rush to find herself an elven prince.
No, she didn't take it well. She was hurt and disappointed. And no, she didn't throw herself around the neck of any elf prince.
I don't even want to know. I'd always loved her, but it seemed to have been quite one-sided. Your wife trapped Critter in the garden. Some thorny tendrils grew out of the ground, imprisoning him.
Oh, an old trick that all priests have up their sleeve.
So novices couldn't sneak out of rituals early, eh?
But the tendrils are very ticklish, especially under the arms.
They... all right, then. I found this text about Lorem Ipsum, written in a foreign language.
I don't understand that language. I only understand the language of nature. And English for some strange reason.
Take care, Bob. I'll see what I can do to help Ivo and Alistair. Or, if I can.
I see a man with a mission of great importance that he would like to complete.
Like? All that work? All that danger? The stress? You've got the same attitudes towards stress as I have.
I can see through you, Nate. You made your decision long ago. You just haven't realized it. To do good. Be part of something bigger. Help others. We all need goals in our lives. And the greater the goal, the greater the reward.
I don't know what you're talking about, old man. The tree is legendary. I knew of it long before I met Ivo. The Tree of Life, as it's called, is attributed all kinds of powers. I was a little bit disappointed when I saw it for the first time. To me, it looks like a completely normal, tall tree. Not many mortals have seen the Tree of Life, and those that have were crowned heads or wise men. I've even sat in its shade next to the king and shared 1 or 2 bottles of apple wine with him. I mean, with the king. A fishing rod? Nah, too obvious. Tickle, tickle, tickle. No problem. Now you go and wait on the Mary, okay? What I'd really like to do is go up there, give the old boot a slap round the face, and get Ivo out of this place. But Ivo's mother is a powerful priestess. She's probably got a dozen ways she could incapacitate me without me even noticing. I have to be careful. Ivo's mirror. When I was here, her fat bird sat in front of it most of the time. The Oracle on Tugador can look through all reflective surfaces. This is going to be a real feast for him. He loves drama. When we found out how the Oracle knew so much about the world, we had a laugh sitting on mirrors with our trousers down. We had to stop doing it when he started making intentionally wrong prophecies. The Oracle on Tugador can look through all reflective surfaces. This is... It looks like she's asleep. But her father said it's more than just sleep. Time's standing still for her. Her mother could leave her in this state for months, or even years. I have to wake her up. She doesn't deserve this, despite everything that's happened. Why did she suddenly put Ivo to sleep? Did Ivo keep the fact that she's pregnant secret even from her parents? Could that even be the reason that she left Elfborough? It looks like she's asleep. But her father said it's more than just sleep. Cheep Cheep, Ivo's bird. We don't get along. He's a puffed-up rooster, and he says the same of me. It was his job to keep me away from Ivo. He made that more than clear any time I got close. I wish he'd done the same after I left. Maybe I can lure the queen onto the balcony, grab Ivo, and... No. Where would we go? The top hat might have been a present from a kobold delegation. I wonder whether... Here. That's what I was looking for. The book describes what the symbols mean. The first one is, a kind of angular stone? Gemstones, jewels. That's a promising start. The second symbol. Desert. Yeah, makes sense. The city is somewhere in the Amzu Desert. Next. Feet? What have feet got to do with it? Can you only reach the city by foot? The next symbol. 3. 3 feet. That's unusual. Perhaps the last symbol will make it clear. Mountains. Jewels, desert, mountains. The jewel of the desert at the foot of the 3 mountains. That's it. Lorem ipsum. The city with roofs of gold is the jewel of the desert, and it lies at the foot of 3 mountains. And these 3 mountains must be west of Bremen. That should be easy to find. The Elf Burrow is one of the most beautiful spots imaginable. But a gold... Hey, Critter.
Huh?
You take over for a bit. I've got some thinking to do.
Faccione, Luca. Godzilla! Boom! Waffen, Mons, Fotz, Ulul, Mons, Fotz, Ulul, Heat! Escuchas, culalabó. Escuchas, culalabó. Box. Mary.
Hello, Critter. Everything okay with you and Captain Nate?
Faccione, Luca.
That's good. You just look after him for me, won't you? It always worries me when he tries to act the hero. Hello, Critter. Everything okay? That's good. It always worries me.
Shaila.
Nope, I don't need to moor the Mary. She holds her position herself. Hey, Mary.
Captain Nate?
Ivo's mother. She's simply switched her off. How dare she?
Switched her off?
Magic elven stuff. If I could, I'd go up there and...
You are not a fighter, Captain Nate. You are... No, wait a moment, you're not really a thinker either. What exactly are you?
A doer, Mary. A doer. All right. Let me know if there's a problem.
And then?
All right, then. The Wildlands aren't that wild anymore since the Earth Gnomes took over the Archwitch's tower. But there's still a lot of evil vermin lurking around in the surrounding countries. The Wildlands aren't, but there's... Wilbur comes from around there. Mainly just dwarves and gnomes live there. The White Ridge Mountains are too cold for humans. Wilbur comes from around there. Mainly just dwarves. I met Critter in the Northlands. Nice people up there. Penguins, mainly. That's the desert where Lorem Ipsum must be. Wait a minute. I must have a more detailed map of the area somewhere here. That's the old oasis of Bremen. It was already there at the time of Lorem Ipsum. Today it's a pretty little town. That's the old oasis. It was 3 mountains west of Bremen. I bet Critter's next meal that the jewel of the desert is at the foot of these mountains. I'll mark the place on the big map. There hasn't been an airship visiting Lorem Ipsum for centuries, perhaps millennia, if ever. Time to pay a call to the old city. That must be it, Lorem Ipsum. And it looks like someone has already dug it up for us.
Hurry up!